stream, I can actually go ahead and hit this share button, and then I'm gonna minimize OBS, and then I'm gonna go to my browser, paste the link button, okay, and then
One, two, three, testing. Hey, sports fans, welcome to Sports Night with Jorge. How you guys doing tonight? I'm just testing my stream here, see if it's working. All right, there it is. I'm checking my live stream here, guys, so give me a chance. If you guys can hear me out there, let me know. But just doing a test here. That's all I'm doing. A test. I'm checking my live stream here, guys, so if you guys can hear me out there, let me know. But okay, one, two, three, testing. That sounds real good. A test. All right. So this sounds good. Okay, 1, 2, 3 testing. That sounds real good. All right. Okay, let me go here. I just test that. Let me open this up here. And let me see what my dock is. Okay, full dock. Okay. Okay. Okay, here it is. All right, there it is. All right, there it is. All right, sports fans, welcome to Sports Night with Jorge once again, man. Little early here today. I told you at 7:30. I'm here at 7 o'clock. Just gonna talk about the playoffs. What's coming to the playoffs? NFL weekend wild card. So I'm just giving a test, see how everything is going out there. If you guys can hear me, man, send me something in the chat. I appreciate it. But I'm just testing this tonight. You guys saw my intro. All right. There I am. I'm just want to be sure that the video quality is good. So let me get with the actually first game on Saturday. So give me a second. I want to be sure this is coming out great. Yeah, I guess the speaker is doing good. If you guys can hear me out there, let me know, guys, if you guys can hear me. Still got 30 minutes anyhow. It's 7:30, but got here early. So, like I said, I'll be here Monday, 7:30, Wednesday, 7:30, and also Friday at 7:30. Friday, I'll probably do my rest of the recap. I'm going to go ahead and get into my numbers here. So, first game is Saturday. Saturday, it's the first game. See if you guys can hear me. Yeah, Saturday is the first game, and it's going to be the Chargers versus Houston. I'll give you my picks, my prediction. Let's start with that game. Okay, the Chargers defense versus Houston offense. Houston has been struggling probably the last 4 or 5 games at the end of the season. Too many injuries in the offensive line. The only way that Houston can win this game, if it's the running back Mixon run against their defense. Now, I'm going to give you some statistic how they score per game and the offense per game, and I'll give you that stat right now. Okay, points scored, 23.6, 11th in the NFL are the Chargers. Houston is at 21.9, 19th in the NFL. Total yards, 324, 20th in the league. You have 319, 22nd in the league. So the offense are matching pretty well both sides. Passing yards are 213 for the Chargers, the LA Chargers. Houston's 207. Rushing, here's the key rushing. Ready? 112 for Houston, 110 for the Chargers, the LA Chargers. So as you see on the offensive side, it's where they pretty match up both of them together. Third down conversion, you have 40% for the Chargers. You got 37 for Houston. On fourth down, 62%, 61 for Houston. Like I said, it's pretty close, guys. Time of possession, 30.40, 12 in the league, 30.54 for Houston. 54. So they're back and they're actually Houston's like two stats away ahead of the Chargers. On the defense, here's the good one here. Points allowed. The Chargers defense only allows 17.7 a game. Houston is allowing almost 22 per game. Not bad at all. The Chargers are number one. The Houston is actually number 14. Then you have total yards, 324. That's what the defense has allowed. The Chargers are 11th. Houston are 315. Then passing yards, 201 for Houston, number 6. And right behind them are the Chargers with 206.9, and they are 201 points. So they're back to back. Now, rushing on the defense, 117 yards allowed by the Chargers and 114 by Houston. So they're very, very close. Both teams are very close. So my only thing is this. Can the offensive line protect Stroud? CJ Stroud. If they don't protect him, guys, you might as well say game over, because that's the main thing. It's protecting CJ Stroud. So the game is at Saturday at 4:30. I like the Chargers, and I like the Charger by 3 points. Okay, I do pick the Charger by 3 points. Then you get the second game later on that night, Saturday night at 8 p.m. A rematch of the Pittsburgh 10-7 against the Baltimore Ravens 12-5. They got Baltimore by -10. I mean, this is something, like I say, I don't give scores, but this game I think is going to be tighter than what the actual number is. I like Baltimore because they're at home, because Pittsburgh's actually struggling. Now, I had some subscribers that got kind of upset with me because, they were saying, give me a second. What happened here? Okay. Okay, give me a second, guys. Okay, so again, use this. Okay, all right. I guess my chat is not answering pretty well. I guess something's wrong with the. Give me a second, and I'll be with you in a few minutes. Okay, let me see this here. Oh, that's weird. I guess I lost connection here. All right, let me go back to the doc. Okay, doc, let me see what's happening here. Chat. Okay, let me try this again. Okay. Give me a second, guys. I guess I'm having some videos issue here when it comes to the chat. All right, let me go back in here. Maybe this could do it. All right, the chat is working. So anyhow, let me get back here. The second game I was talking about, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. All right, this is going to be closer than people expect. I like Baltimore probably by 7 or 4 points in this game. Once again, Pittsburgh's going with a losing streak into the playoffs. I believe in momentum. I was telling you earlier that I have a subscriber, one of my friends, and saying that he doesn't believe in home field advantage. I do believe home field advantage, home field and momentum. Momentum will carry you a long way. Once again, Lamar Jackson, if he played the last time like he played the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have a chance of winning this game. Then you got the big one, the Denver Broncos at the Buffalo Bills. That's on Sunday at 1 o'clock at Buffalo. They got Buffalo by 9.5. Once again, I think it'll be closer than that. I think they're facing a tough defense with the Denver Broncos. The only thing is, excuse me, it's so hard to win in Buffalo. I mean, I might see another close game, probably 3 points, between three to 5 points. Like Buffalo winning. I'm not gonna give you a score because I don't go scores. Scores could be either or. It doesn't matter. If it's 25, I mean, if it's 20 to 25, that's 5 points. Pittsburgh could win. Baltimore could beat Pittsburgh by 3 points. Maybe a 19-16 game. I don't think it's going to be close, guys. It's going to be close. I think when you go to the playoffs, it's a different environment. Then you have the Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's the big one. They got Philadelphia by 4. I'm going to say Philadelphia by 3 points. Now, here's the question to this. The return of Hurst. How physical, how mentally he is after the concussion. Remember, he hasn't played football for almost, 3 weeks, 2 weeks? Or 3 weeks exactly, because by the time he plays on Sunday. So that's my concern, how rusty he is. I still like Philadelphia because they're playing at Philadelphia and plus their defense. Love also has an injury. How big is the injury? I don't know. I think he'll play in the game. Okay, but once again, these two quarterbacks are really banged up. My thing is, who's going to show up that Sunday? But once again, I like Philadelphia. Those are my picks for the wildcard weekend. Great games coming up, guys. Very competitive. I mean, it's going to be things that's really going to impress all of us as we watch these games. And just because the record might not mean nothing, because everybody in the playoffs are 0-0. This is what I want to say. You're going into the league with a record of 0-0, so you're going to have to compete regardless. I mean, you got to have your game plan, your team ready to beat these teams, And let me go back. We're 78 days from baseball, guys, before the season begins. Okay, so baseball, there's a lot of stuff in baseball, guys. A lot of trade rumors, a lot of players exchanging teams. I get to that when I get closer to that, because now we're actually in the playoffs. So let me look at the NBA for a second. And I don't know who are your teams. I'm gonna go to the Atlantic. Boston is 27-10. New York is 24-13. They're only 3 games out. New York has lost 3 games in a row, by the way. Boston took over the first place. New York was playing pretty hot ball, but then they dropped down. Then you got the 76ers, Brooklyn, and then the Toronto. In the Central, you got Cleveland. Best record in the NBA, 31-4. Followed by Milwaukee, 18-16, which I'm surprised how they struggled. With Indiana, they're 12.5 games behind Cleveland. Cleveland, came out of the gate red hot, guys. Red hot. So I'm very surprised with them, what they're doing. And, nobody would know this was coming, but, this is the NBA. So you got Cleveland, Milwaukee, Indiana, Detroit, Chicago, and then Southeast you got the Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, and Charlotte and Washington. The amazing about this is this that Orlando's 22-16, having a pretty not pretty bad season, but you got the Heat still at 18-17, only 2.5 games out, and Atlanta is 19 and 18 and only 2.5 games out. Then Charlotte is 8-27, they're 12.5, and then you got Washington at 14 games out. And then in the Western Conference, man, Houston and Memphis having a great year. Dallas in third place. Then you got San Antonio and New Orleans. Oklahoma at 30-5, also a great season for them. Lakers just not took over, they actually tied in the Pacific against the Clippers. They're 20 wins and 16 losses. But guys, let me tell you about the Lakers. Their lineup, between you and me, their lineup, it's not. I don't think they can compete. I'm going to be straight honest with you. Listen, not that I'm criticizing LeBron James. I love LeBron James, guys. But sometimes, man, I'm going to say it again. Pass the torch. Move on, man. Get some youth in there. Get some youngster in there. LeBron's son, I think he should go back to the league and get more reps and before he gets to the NBA. I don't think he's an NBA type. And I'm knocking nothing on both of them. LeBron is a legend. He's a legend and he is going to be a legend. He is amazing what he does, but age does get to you. So I think it's time for him to move on. So, and that's my thought. And that's your NBA games tonight. Tell you right now, you got Oklahoma City, which is a good game against Cleveland. That's in the first period, 6-0 Cleveland. You got Chicago and Indiana. It's 9-4 Indiana in the first period also. You got Philadelphia 76ers 7, Washington 5. They're in the first period too. Then coming tonight, later on tonight, 7:30, Toronto and New York. Detroit at Brooklyn. Portland and New Orleans. You got Clippers at Denver. And you got San Antonio and Milwaukee. Those are the upcoming games. Now let me go to hockey for a second, because hockey, if you're not a hockey fan, man, you're missing a lot. I've been a hockey fan all my life too, but here are the standing. You have the Atlantic and the Metropolitan. You have Toronto in first place, followed by Florida. Pretty close. They're down by, 6 points. You got Boston, Tampa Bay, Ottawa, Montreal, Detroit, and Buffalo. In the Metropolitan, you have, which is the Eastern, Washington, New Jersey, Carolina Panthers, Columbus, Pittsburgh Penguins, which I'm shocked they're way down there, Philadelphia, New York Rangers, and the New York Islanders. In the western side, you have Winnipeg, Minnesota, Dallas, Colorado, St. Louis, Utah, Nashville, and Chicago. In the Pacific, you have Vegas, Edmonton, Los Angeles, Vancouver, Calgary, Anaheim, Seattle, and San Jose Sharks, which are 13 wins and 24 losses in 43 games. So they're struggling right now. I'm going to get you the games tonight. We got Florida going out playing Utah at 10 o'clock tonight. We have Colorado and Chicago at 7:30. Vancouver, Washington at 7:30. And Calgary and Los Angeles was postponed. So that's your sports. And like I tell you guys, you're going to have baseball, football, basketball here. You're going to have all the information that you could get from this podcast. So, and once again, I want to thank all the subscribers that have subscribed to the channel. I appreciate that, guys. As you see, I'm not talking Miami Dolphin tonight. I'm really not. I think I'm overwhelmed with all these gossip, rumors. Don't want to talk about it. let it play out. We are sports podcasters, and I'm talking to myself in general. I respect all the podcasters that are out there on YouTube and doing a great job at what they're doing. Okay, and I feel their anger, their frustration, if you want to say it, towards the Miami Dolphins. And like I say, I was not going to talk about the Miami Dolphins, but at the end of the day, guys, it's just a business. It's an entertainment. It's a sport. It's like we go to work from 9 to 5. You go home. You have a successful day. You might have had a bad day. You might have had a good week. You might have a bad week. But it's going to come down to these three things that I talked about on my last podcast yesterday. Discipline, lack of discipline, lack of leadership, and lack of accountabilities. And I'm going to say that that's going to go to all sports. I leave it to that. Okay? It's funny how the season ends, everything comes out, but we want to make things up. And it's not making up because we hear these coaches, general managers, owners come out and speak. Okay? The most impressive thing is when they say, and I'm going to use Mayo from New England Patriots. He wins the last game of the season, and he gets fired. See, I have a problem with that. You did not give the guy a chance in the National Football League to show what he had. And then we could sit here and start saying, but look at that team lineup. Look at that team roster. Let's be honest. Let's be straight honest. Nobody was going to win with that roster. What is Kraft thinking? The owner of the New England Patriots. Listen, buddy, you don't have Brady in your team. You don't have Amendola in your team. You don't have Gronkowski in your team. So I believe that you need to move from the past. Jets fans, I'll tell you one more time. I heard that Rex Ryan was an interview. Listen, great year with the Jets. But here's what we have to understand. This is not 1990. This is not 1980s. This is 2025. A lot of things has happened. A lot of things has changed in this league. And we have to realize that. Some people think that a change is good. Yes, sometimes it's good. And sometimes it's not good. And that's one thing that I want to tell you as a fan. As a podcaster, sport podcaster, once again, your frustration. Once again, I know how you feel. We want to win. Me too. It's been over 20 years, no playoff win. And then you're going to come out and say, well, look, Stroud has been back-to-back playoffs. Has taken the Houston back-to-back playoffs. Does anybody talk about chemistry anymore? Or the three things that I just said, chemistry, discipline, and leadership? And it's funny how it says it starts by the coach. Yeah, you're right. It starts by the coach. But who plays in the field? The coach or the players? You could have a game plan and you could have an execution. And you want to execute the plan, but the plan don't work. What do? We change it, right? To see what it works. I love this podcast when it says, we are exposed. Really? If that's the case, every NFL team has been exposed. And that's one thing I want to say, guys. I mean, you have to implement. Okay? And listen, Miami has addition to their teams, players to their team. But we as fans, we thought that man, adding these players, we're going to the Super Bowl once again. Once again. And I didn't want to bring it up. I really didn't want to talk about Dolphins tonight. Okay? But I'm talking in NFL in general. One player would not decide a Super Bowl. Period. This is why you got 11 on defense, 11 on offense, and you got a 53-man roster, right? So, what can I tell you? I'm not going to argue with my fans, sport fans, because I feel your grief. But let's look at it at work. If you don't have a game plan at work, you think you're going to be successful? No. But what do? You change that game plan to make it better. It's not going to be as you want it, as you planned it. Okay? But unfortunately, this is the NFL. And that happens in NFL, baseball, basketball, you name it, every sports. It's common sense, guys. That's all it is, common sense. I'm a firm believer, both sides of the ball. And I'm talking about defense, offense, same thing as NBA. You got to be in the same page. You're not in the same page, then we have an issue. A big issue. Because you're going to have players in your ball club that really say, I'm here for the money. I'm playing for the money, and that's it. I get my 15 catches, my 150-something yards a game. I'm going to get my career, like I say, end of the year stats. I'm going to get my 1,500, my 15 touchdowns, my 101 catches. I'm done. If that's the actual attitude for every player that comes into the league, he does not need to be in your team. Period. There's no questions asked. And I don't care what anybody tells me out there. Say, man, you're dumb. Call me whatever you want, guys. I don't get offended. I really don't. That's my personal opinion. You have yours. I respect it. But you got these podcasters talking all this crap, and I'm sorry to say it that way. Okay, you got some great one out there now that makes common sense, have the great knowledge, and has the great potential, and has everything, and has all the insights, and because what a reporter does, a reporter reports, right? And he can report anything in the media. But how do you know as a fan it's true or not? Well, once again, if you don't see it, you can't talk about it. Because now we assume that's happening. Well, you know what? If we live in this life assuming, we ain't going to live for long. Or pretend. That's why when you do something, you got to have the facts. I'm not always perfect either. And I'm going to say it honest. And I'm going to put myself in that spot. And I'm not bragging or talking bad about there's a lot of great podcasters out there. I love I look at their show. I looked at it. I comment on their show. And, I've been a Dolphin fan for so many years. But, we're getting too connected, too serious about it. And I had people tell me today, some of my subscribers that I've seen telling me, hey man, those words are kind of tough. It's kind of hard, man. And then I got someone who says, hey, my team didn't make it. It's okay, George. That's it. That's all you could do. You didn't make it. It's okay. Now watch this. Who would have known the Miami Dolphins? And once again, I wasn't talking about them tonight. Who would have known they were only one game out of the playoffs? One shot. When all of us already gave them up three games ago. The last 3 weeks of the season. This team can't beat nobody. This team can't beat soft teams. This team can't beat good teams. They only beat soft team. And then how the heck did they finish third in defense? Probably fourth now because they allowed 32 points against the Jets. I don't know. I didn't see the final stats where they ended on defense. What did Tua? How did Tua? He got injured. Now, here's what we have to be worried about. I ain't worried about Tyreek Hill. I'm worried about Tua Tagovailoa. That is a decision that McDaniel Greer's going to have to take. I love the guy. I told you from day one. Okay, but his injury pro, concussion, now the hip, that is bringing question for this year, 2025 to 2026. This is where people say, nah, Miami's not going to draft a quarterback. Well, I'm going to tell you something. They're going to have to draft a quarterback. Unfortunately, I say that, and I could be wrong. They're going to have to get a quarterback somewhere. And I'm straight honest about it. Okay, I love the guy. He's done great. But you know what? He never had a supported cast in the offensive line. Teron Armstead, injured all the time. Okay? Dolphin changing lineup, left guard, right guard, guard, No, guys, that is unacceptable, man. You don't have the players, you have the injuries. Go to your draft, pick your draft, get your player, go back to your 50. I don't care if the 53-man roster, somebody out there is good, man. Come on, man. Give the kid an opportunity. And since I've been a Dolphin fan, let me tell you something. I see the Dolphins never give somebody an opportunity. Look what Jimmy Johnson did when he got Zach Thomas. Short guy, he's not going to make it in this league. He's terrible. He's too small. His size, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. It's amazing how we see things, how we make prediction, but we don't give an individual a chance to play in this league. If we could do that, guys, trust me, there's a lot of kids out there that are behind the bench of each team waiting for the opportunity so they could come to the National Football League, which that's their dream, right? To win a freaking game or to at least to play a position to give them a chance. Teams start changing players. Oh, man, where does this guy came from? I mean, why didn't they start him from the beginning of the season? Well, there we go. Because I'm going to say it again, man. Their ego, their selfishness, their pride. Listen, man, bench the guy, sit down, man. You're not working out for me, man. I'm going to try somebody else here. Unfortunately, that's how it happened. It's like a manager running the store, and he can't manage the store. Well, it's time for a new manager. Hey, buddy, you're going to have to step down, man. We got to get somebody in here for you because we need to run the business different ways. I like when they always say, man, the coach lost the locker room. How in the heck do you know that? How do you know he lost the come on, man. Come on. Stop saying things that, actually, now they probably lost respect. Yeah, but they ain't lost the locker room. And then you got comments that they quit on the. I mean, come on, man. Let's be honest. Let's not get there, man. Let's not get there. The season is over. Move on from it. 2025. Let's look at the draft. Let's look at your salary cap, which I'll talk about later on. Right now, I'm talking playoffs. Once again, LA Chargers going to Houston, and then you got 4:30. Then you have the Steelers going to the Ravens at 8:00 at night on Saturday. And then Sunday, great matchup. You got the Broncos going to the Buffalo Bills. Then you got the Green Bay Packers going to the Eagles. And then I think Monday night, it's the Tampa Bay and the Rams. So, I mean, we got to focus on those games right now. That's what's going. My team is not there. Hey, best of luck next year, and that's it. But if I put my eye on one player, I'm gonna tell you who it is right now. It's Tua Tagovailoa. I'm not worried about Tyreek Hill. I'm not worried about Waddle. I'm not worried about Chubbs. I'm not worried about no. If I'm gonna worry about one person, it's Tua. Why? Because he's the one that drives the bus. He's the chauffeur. He's the one to pick up. He's driving and pick up all his players behind him. So, like I said, he's the driver. The same thing as the airplane. He's the co-pilot. So he's the co-pilot of the team. If the co-pilot of the team gets hurt, he can't fly the airplane. And he could try all his backup players. Hey, give me a chance. You could drive this. You see, this is where I want people to understand. Okay. Could it be Tua last chance in Miami? Possibility. Who knows? I wish him well. Great kid, great man, great family. But I'm gonna tell you something. We all have a passion of doing stuff. I think you should think. You should consider. It's funny. If Dolphin made the playoff, he was not gonna be able to play the playoffs either. Maybe possible, maybe not. What, to re-injure himself and call it a career? I think you gotta be smarter than that. But anyhow, I did came early today. I know I told you guys I'd be here at 7:30. I gave you some recap for the NBA. Gave you a recap also of the NHL. And of course, I didn't want to talk about the Dolphins, and I did, but I'll also talk about the NFL wildcard weekend. Man, thank you again, once again, those that have subscribed to the channel. I appreciate it. Hopefully, this was a test. That's why I started early. I had to make some changes on my recording, on my video, on my audio. Hopefully, it comes out okay. So once again, man, you guys have a blessed night. Sorry I came a little late, but the video is going to be there. You guys could watch it later on. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you those that have subscribed to the channel. I appreciate everything what you guys have done. Continue to day by day do as best as I can to bring you all the updates on my shorts, on my video shorts. Anything that I could do to just to my fans. And like I said, this is all sports in general, not only Miami Dolphins. That is my team. I love my team. You can see the background already. So anyhow, have a blessed night. Thank you so much, and God bless. And always, always, guys, stay positive. Stay classy. Be a pro. Don't let nothing bother you. Make it a day, because today is today and tomorrow is another day. So once again, welcome to subscribe to SNJ Sports.